Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. Here we are on Sunday afternoon. I did move it up a little bit to 2 o'clock. I've got a really busy day today, so wanted to get in a live a little bit earlier. We might only have to go about 45 minutes or so today, but I didn't want to miss out on it because I do have some interesting things for us to discuss today. So we've got several on here already. Let me see who has logged in here. Of course, DEM, who's here all the time. Good to see you, DEM. And let's see, Jason. Jason says, hi, Rewards Master. New to the credit cards game and initially wanted to go Citi, but was convinced to start with Chase. Well, yeah, because that's everybody's conventional wisdom, right? Start with Chase. Got CSP and 2 inks, and now just got the first Citi, the AA Platinum Select with 80K for 1,000 spend. Love the content. Thank you. Well, let me say, I think the 80,000 for 1,000 spend on American Miles is maybe the greatest sign-up bonus of all time as far as what you're getting for the amount of spend and how valuable they are. That is smoking good. So, Jason, you did very, very well there. Congratulations and welcome to the Citi Club. Welcome to the Citi Club. Miles of Smiles, channel member who's always here, gifted 1 Rewards Master membership. So thank you so much for that. So whoever gets that, make sure to thank Miles of Smiles for that gifted membership. That's great. Tulare73 says, hey, Bob, and everyone else here. Good to have you back, Tulare. Another channel member. Thank you for your support. DEM says, no cap. No cap. All right. Matt Clausen says, howdy. Good to have you here, Matt. If you haven't watched Matt's channel, he's kind of the news guy in this Points and Miles community on YouTube. So he knows all that stuff and what's happening when it's happening. Matt says, I'm going to preach a new convention starting with Rove. Okay. Yeah, Rove. It's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. Joe NY Law, another channel member, says, hey, Rewards Master, always look forward to your lives. Well, here we are. We're going to, as I said in the very beginning, we might have to cut it a little short because I do have a crazy day today, but hopefully we can still get some good content in. Family Travel John says, happy Sunday, everyone. So good to have you here, John. Good to have everybody here. All right. So today, basically, I wanted to, as I said in the description, we're going to talk about iPrefer and also Choice, because those are big time transfer partners of Citi. And what really I wanted to find out is, because I never really researched it or dug into it, everybody, the conventional wisdom, just like it was said before, who was it way back? Oh yeah, Jason had said that he wanted to start with Citi, but he was told over and over, you got to start with Chase. Well, that's conventional wisdom, because the conventional wisdom is Chase has the best value because of Hyatt, because other hotel, and that's true. I mean, if you transfer to Marriott or if you transfer to Hilton, you're not going to get good cent per point, but you can with Hyatt. So the conventional wisdom is that's the hotel brand, and that therefore Chase is super valuable because it's got Hyatt. Well, now we have iPrefer and we have Choice, and because of the insane transfer rates, I mean, you get 1 to 4 from Citi to iPrefer and 1 to 2 to Choice. So is it comparable? So that's why I wanted to examine in our centerpiece today. Also, in new developments, I have a brand new card. I just applied for it 2 days ago and was approved. So I'm going to talk about how it's going to fit my system, why I like it. And on the restaurant rewards, I got something kind of cool to talk about too. And we'll see if we get to the other stuff past that. So before we dive in, let me see any more. Yeah, Point CFO. Hey, my friend, we had a great time over in Puerto Rico together. So a great guy. Thank you. Good to have you here. Can't wait to hear about iPrefer and Choice as an alternative to Hyatt Globalist. Yeah. Well, I didn't really get into the, I'm not going to get into too much as far as the status levels, but what I am going to talk about is redemptions and just basic idea of, do they have the same value as Hyatt? So that's hopefully what we're going to be able to address in a little bit. So good to see you, Point CFO. All right, so new development, my new card. So 2 days ago, I applied for the Chase, the Citi AA Advantage Globe card. This is their new $350 card that's kind of in the middle of their American Airlines lineup. I think that they did it to compete with two cards, with the United Quest card and also with the American Express Delta Platinum card. And they're all priced at $350. And this one, I've heard several people talk about it, and I even did a video on it. I was kind of up in the air about it, but I've thought about it more and more and more and more. And I think that I'm going to shift both Nona and my strategy to be very heavily leaning into this card. So the first thing is that people at first glance, some have called it a really bad card because it is for some people. It's just a bad card for some people. I mean, it's $350 a year, which is not cheap. And for $350 a year, what you're getting for that doesn't seem as good as what you get, like, say, with the Delta Platinum card. I think the Delta Platinum card for the average flyer is probably better because the Delta Platinum for $350, you're getting $120 rideshare credit. You're getting a good Delta Stays credit with their hotels, and you're getting a absolutely free, well, you got to pay taxes and fees, but the no cost companion pass. With this one, you do get a companion pass, but it costs $99, so that's not as good. With this one, you get $100 splurge credit that can either be Ticketmaster or AA Hotels. And I think there's one other thing, but I'm going to disregard that because to me, those would be the two valuable ones. So $100, and then you get $100 in flight credit. So it's not that great. And like I said, the companion certificate is not as good. And then with the United Club, with the United Quest card, it's got some pretty good credit. It's got a hotel credit. It's also got $200 into your travel bank. That's really easy. So arguably, its two competitors have a lot better credits for the average flyer. So why on earth does Bob and Nona think this card's going to work good for us? Well, the reason I think it's going to work great is because of a little touted benefit called the loyalty point bonuses. And what that is that it says in the terms and conditions that if you fly 4 American Airlines, and most people are saying flights, but that's not what the terms and conditions say. They say segments. If you fly 4 American Airlines segments, then you get 5,000 bonus loyalty points. So you can do that up to 3 times. And because they're segments, that means if you have a layover in your flight, that's only 3 round trips. Well, both Nona and I both take way more than 3 round trips a year each for business. So that right there is going to give us just a free 15,000 loyalty points. And 15,000 loyalty points is almost halfway to their first status level. Now, when you couple that, for me, I have the executive card also. The executive card has 2 10,000 point bonuses at 50,000 points and at 90,000 points. And those are also, quote, free. All you got to do is hit those thresholds. So literally that means that this card and my other card are going to give me, with zero effort, 35,000 loyalty points. Now, my current status is Platinum Pro, which is 125,000 loyalty points to reach. That means I'm only going to have, what's that? 125 minus 35, 90,000 loyalty points. So that is way easier. And let me tell you, if a person had both of those cards, that you would be automatic to gold status, the low level, and super easy to platinum status. Super easy. So I got the Globe card. Now, it's got some features like it's got four passes to American Airlines clubs. And I'm not going to use those 4 passes, and you can't really transfer them. So those are just going to go to waste. But in Nona's case, she hasn't reached status. She doesn't fly quite enough to reach status on American. But with this card, when I get her own, she will reach status. And this card gives her 4 passes. So what I think we'll do is we'll simply downgrade her elite card because we don't need it. We have the prestige card in our household. So we'll downgrade her elite card that gives her 4 passes, and I'll get her this card instead, which will get her to gold status, and we'll give her the same 4 passes because she only needs them when she's not with me. Because with me, she gets in on my executive card. And then also, Not only is it going to give her status and get her there, it's going to give us another companion pass for $99 and then all those extra credits also. And it'll be less expensive than the Elite card. I love the Elite card. If they make me change eventually to it with my Prestige, I'll accept it. But I'm not sure we need it with the Prestige. So I think that's where we're going to shift to. So it's going to help me to be able to keep my status way easier. It's going to help her to be able to reach status, and she'll have those passes. And frankly, I just think the companion certificates, even though they cost $99, we're going to make it very much worth it for us. So that's kind of my logic on this. Like I said, I've already been approved. As soon as we hit the spend on this one, I'll apply for it with Nona, see about her getting it. And that's kind of where we're headed. So let me know what you think about this. Let me go back and see who all has jumped on here. Okay, let me see. So Matt Clausen's on here, as we said. Joe NY Law. Yeah, Family Travel. John said happy Sunday to everybody. Point CFO. That brings us Stacy. Stacy's here. Happy Sunday. Stacy, good to have you back. Matt Clausen says, hey, Stacy, saying hi to each other. Kevin Hawthorne says, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Kevin, great to have you here with us. DEM says, and if the Prestige card goes away, well, then I can make the Elite card work. I mean, I don't know what you think, Dem, because you have it too, but I can make the Elite card work. I don't want that to happen, but I can make it work for me, but we wouldn't need two in that case. So, okay. Magnus Sharp. Well, Magnus Sharp, welcome. Great to have you here. And drops a $5 super chat. That's awesome. Says choice is underrated. And now with the addition of AA and iPrefer, I don't even care about Chase UR points anymore. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to be heading with this. Thank you so much for that gift. I appreciate that so much. I'm humbled by it. And we'll talk about that more. And welcome. Family John, Travel John says, how many custom cash cards will that give you when you downgrade the Elite? It would give us 5, I think. I think 5, actually. That is probably what we'll downgrade it to, because we do still have the Strata card, the 0 annual fee Strata card, so we won't need one of those. AGM says, I just redeemed 18,750 Citi points and got 75,000 iPrefer points. That 1-to-4 ratio, cent per point is 3. Since the property is 500-ish, it's middle 8 in Covent Garden in London. Okay, yeah, that's the kind of things I'm going to show you when I dig into some of the examples here. YouTube Experiment, welcome. Good to have you. Says I'm late. That's no problem. Magnus Sharp says the Elite card is good, but I'll be downgrading to Premier. I already have Platinum and AA Executive. Yeah. It's like I said, I think it's good too. I'm not sure that we need it. But if they make me get rid of my Prestige, I'll take the 6X on City Nights. I can make that work. I can manipulate it. All right, let's move on. Any more comments on the Globe card? Just go ahead and put them in the comments and I'll try to get to them. Okay, so this actually is at the request of my good friend Point CFO. He's on here on the chat right now. But when we were in Puerto Rico together, we were talking about the Upside app. And I don't know if you'll want to comment on this because you were sitting right there, but I know he'll remember. We're sitting and we're talking, and I mentioned about Upside, and I showed it to him, and I opened up my app, and it said that it gave little restaurants and stuff where I could get cash back. And he said, what? Because Taco Bell was on there. And on Taco Bell, I think it was showing at that moment 89% back at Taco Bell. 89%. And then a bunch of the other restaurants were really high too. Let me see what these ones show up. So like on this one, you can see that Domino's Pizza is like 71%. Some of the others. So that's that second photo. But in the photo on the left, this is a redemption I did like yesterday or day before yesterday. I just ran through Taco Bell and got me something to eat. And you notice my total bill was $11.20 and Upside paid me back $8.51. Now, I don't know if y'all are doing the math on that, but what rewards program gives you back $8.51 on an $11 purchase? Think about that. $8.51 back on an $11 purchase. And you say, well, how's that happening? Mine doesn't, mine doesn't do that. Mine, when I open mine up, it's like 6%. Well, the reason I had to explain this to Point CFO when we were there in Puerto Rico is that when how they do it is referrals. So I get a lot of referrals because I hardly anybody talks about Upside. So I seem to have gotten a lot of referrals. So how they do it on referrals with Upside, which I think is brilliant, is when you get a referral, it gives you like a big boost to your next purchase. So what that meant is that because I'd gotten referrals through YouTube or friends or whatever, they gave me a boost. So it kept growing to the point where I'm getting 89% back on my next purchase. So got 851 on $11. And it's really easy. I mean, it's free to give out your referrals. So what I would do is the other really thing about their referral program is that it's really cool whenever anyone who gets it forever uses the app, they just give me 10 cents. That's how it works. And then the first time they use it, then I get a bonus on my next purchase. So I just had to show y'all that because Point CFO and I were laughing about it, and he was just like, wow, this is crazy. So I mean, you got to say that is the king of all redemptions to get $8.51 back on an $11.20 purchase. Have you ever seen anything so high in your life? All right, let's go back. Let's see what different comments we got. Sam, good to have you, Sam. You have the great knowledge of the credit card system. Very good content. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice. I tried to get into Citi ecosystem, but got denied. We'll wait 6 months and then apply. Yeah, that's wise. That's the thing about Citi is that I space them out. I mean, I didn't know if I'd get applied for the Globe card the other day, but it did. I do think AA cards are a little easier than thank you point earning cards, but with Citi, I think it's all about relationship, longevity, and just pacing yourself. Just pace yourself, Sam. That's what I would do. Okay, YouTube experiment. About 2 weeks ago, I finally got out. Your name is Bop and not Bob. Yeah, well, it's actually my nickname, but yes, that's what I go by, Bop, B-O-P. But you can call me Bob. Just don't call me late to dinner. Is that what they say, right? Okay, Point CFO. Okay, so he's talking about what we were talking about. The Taco Bell discount was outrageous on the app on your phone. Yeah, I mean, it was outrageous. It was crazy. It was like, wasn't it 89%, 91%, something like that? Filmo, dang, my best upside offers top out at like 12%. Yeah, I mean, $8.51 on $11, Phil. Isn't that amazing? So had to see it to believe it, Point CFO says. Sam says crazy. I know it was just out of this world. So yeah, the Upside app it's really cool, I think, because it's just double trip. So like yesterday, I got gas at Shell, so I'm getting my points with American with Shell because I got that linked together, and I'm getting the Upside points, and I'm getting my Citi Custom Cash 5x per dollar. So I really like the app. I think it's great. Claim app comes close. Okay, Claim app. I haven't looked into that one, but maybe that one's great too. I'll check it out. Thanks for that. Sam, my best was Hilton 32% only once. Yep. Is Upside trying to speed run bankruptcy? Yeah. I mean, I know, but who's paying for that? Is Upside paying me that or is Taco Bell? I don't know because I think Taco Bell could absorb it better than they can probably. So David William, good to have you here. David says, nice deal. Filmo, if I'm getting 89% back, we're eating cold tacos for 2 weeks after my $900 Taco Bell purchase. Yeah. See how well those bad boys freeze, right, Phil? Yeah. We could have, hey, Phil, we could have catered for everybody in Puerto Rico. You know, we could have just had Taco Bell and got 89% back. So AGM says, I have 3 Regent INQs on EXP. Third is when I applied for Atmos Ascent last night and got declined. Okay. Recent inquiries on Experian is what I think he's saying. So I froze my Experian and tried applying to the Citi Globe card, but Citi wants me to unfreeze it. What should I do? Honestly, probably wait a little while and try again in a month or two. That's probably, I hope that the 90,000 point is not going away soon. I don't know. I think they're really going to want to push that card. So I can't tell you exactly what to do, but it's once they start denying you, it gets pretty rough if you don't wait them out a little bit. So, Experian, yeah. All right, DEM says, the elite card, I'm still undecided on using it for city nights and my international catch-all. If the prestige sticks around, I may just make it another custom cash. Yeah, that's me. That's where I'm at. I like the card, Dem. I like it as a I mean, it's way better than I thought they were going to stick us with, as a replacement for the prestige. But then when they didn't make me have a replacement, I was super excited. But even if I had to have it, I don't hate it. I mean, I think it's really a good card. It's just I don't need it. That's kind of the issue. So if they made me switch to it with my prestige, I wouldn't be happy, but I would accept it. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. AGM Experian, yep. Dem says getting value out of all the coupons at the moment, including Black Lane. Yeah, I like that Black Lane credit. I'm excited after the first year to use it again. It says, you using custom cash for dining? Oh, no. I use Prestige for dining. Point CFO, Taco Bell in Puerto Rico would have gone well with Cesar. Yeah. I don't think he would have. I don't think that would have been authentic enough for him. He wouldn't have liked that. That's true. Joe, I love Black Lane. Got my wife a ride from Orlando Airport to meet at the conferences, and it was $100.40. Ride ended being 40 cents. 40 cents for a limo. Pretty nice. Then use the Live Nation for 4 concert tickets. Yep. It's pretty good. It's a good card. I don't care what people say. It's a good card. Tampa Travel, when you book, who's also a channel member, by the way, good to have you back, Tampa. When you book AA with Alaska Miles, do you just count check baggage fees as the cost of doing business? Well, when I book AA with Alaska Miles, I wouldn't have to pay for the bags because I'm going to book AA and then I'm going to call AA and give them my number. And then when I go to the airport, I'd check my bags and then I have status with them. So I wouldn't have to pay anything. So that's how I do it. I just make sure that because I want my upgraded seats. So every time I book a flight on American Airlines, I get, through Alaska points, I get all my benefits of being Platinum Pro with American Airlines, because what I do is I call American, or sometimes even when I just put in the record locator on the app, it finds me and it recognizes, so I can pick the main cabin extra seats for free, and I get all the perks. So I would also get my check bags for free also. So it's not really an issue. I don't know if that answers exactly what you're asking, but I think it probably does. So let me know if you need more clarification. Okay, Magnus Sharp. One thing, let's see, what was that? One thing I don't like about Black Lane credit personally, couldn't find, maybe in Washington? Maybe that's what it is. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I've got a crazy afternoon, so I don't have a lot more time. So I want to get to main event, which is this centerpiece of the iPrefer hotel. So I dove into this and I did kind of a deep dive as far as just prices. Now, I think Point CFO was talking about, what about like their status? Well, I'm going to do something else on that another day. But today I just want to talk about a kind of a big time, from afar view of points values. So what we know is that when you transfer your points from Citi to iPrefer, you get a 1-to-4. So you're getting 4 of their points for 1. So you got to divide it by 4 to figure out the actual points price with Citi points. And when it's with Choice, it's 1-to-2. So, but you can book iPrefer hotels with Choice points. So what does all of that break down to? So I thought it'd be kind of cool to see like a bird's eye overview of just some, and I just picked out some random places, random dates to try to give us an idea. So we'll go through a few of these and then I'll look at comments along the way. So here are a few properties that I found. And one thing that you're going to find to be true, iPrefer has a lot more properties than they have that are available on points, which is weird. I don't know why. So it's not a big footprint. So that has to be recognized. I mean, Hyatt's not a big footprint, but it's bigger than this footprint. Okay. A lot bigger than this footprint. So that has to be recognized. So that you're dealing with a smaller footprint. And even in that smaller footprint, it has an even smaller footprint than its small footprint in regard to which ones can be booked with points. But what's really weird is more of them can be booked with choice points than with iPrefer points. So I don't know why that is, but I thought it might be interesting just to look at some of these. So some of these hotels, and you can't tell everything about a hotel just by looking at the pictures, right? But some of these ones are in South America. So Colombia. So this first one, Capellan D, get whatever that is. It's 50,000 points. And I looked it up, and that hotel was like $350 a night, right? And it's 50,000 points, but it's not 50,000 points. It's 50,000 iPrefer points, which would only be 12,500 Citi points. It's for a hotel, $300-ish, $350-ish a night. Well, that's a really good redemption, right? And so you look at that, that's a Hyatt level redemption. Then you look at this next one, same thing. The luxury suites and residences. This one was $200-ish something dollars a night, and it was 30,000 points. So it's only 7,500 Citi points a night. Well, that's just amazing. And then I found this one. This is the same night. It's called 100 Luxury Suites. And so it's apparently stylish apartment hotel near culinary and nightlife scene. Okay, so I don't know how stylish or nice it is, but it's 15,000 points a night. So that means it's 3,750 Citi points. That is cheaper than the cheapest Hyatt redemption. And I mean, is it a great hotel? Maybe not, but it's probably the equal of a Hyatt place, and it's actually cheaper. So I think it can be seen that Citi now has the cheapest redemptions. Now, not a big footprint, yes, but the cheapest redemptions, potentially, which I found to be very, very interesting because of this iPrefer 1-to-4 situation. Okay, Magnus Sharp says, the only thing I don't like about Black Lane credit personally, couldn't use it. Yeah, is the Black Lane credit. Couldn't use it. Okay, so you couldn't find a way to use it where you were going. I get it. Understood. Sleepy Rod, it's the same with choice hotels. They have a lot more properties than are bookable with points. Kind of frustrating thing about their program. Yeah, it is. It is very weird. I just don't even look at the ones that can't be booked with points. It's like just out of sight, out of mind. That's how I do it. Okay, Robert says Black Lane doesn't work in my area, making it harder to use. Yeah, that would be frustrating for sure. Stacy says, iPrefer a smaller footprint, but looks like more luxurious. I'm eyeing a few in LA and look worldwide. They look amazing. Yeah, some of them, they got like, and I'll get to some of them here if we have time, but there's a bunch of castles and stuff. I mean, really cool properties. So I think you're right, Stacy. Okay, James says, hello. Good to see you, James. Good to have you here. And James says, Black Lane works in Bangkok. Oh, cool. Haven't tried it there, but I may someday. Never can tell. Okay, next slide. Let's see what we got here. Okay, here's an example. Now, this I did kind of a side-by-side. So this is called the Poblano Plaza Hotel. Again, about a $200 to $300-ish hotel in Colombia. And on iPrefer, it's 30,000 points. But on the right, you have this same hotel. Now, you remember the 100 luxury suites was 15,000 points with iPrefer, and it's 25,000 points with choice. Because on the right, these two over here on the right are choice. And so it's actually more points, even though it's only 1 to 2 with choice on that 100 luxury. And on the Pablo, which is the exact same hotel, same night and everything, it's the same price. So literally, choice is twice as expensive as going through iPrefer their own points for the same hotel, because that 30,000 would be 7,500, but it would be 15,000 because of the 1 to 2 versus 1 to 4 if you did it through choice. So I thought that was interesting. Here you have this Poblano, same thing. Choice is 30,000 points. Just giving a few more examples here. We've got this EK hotel, kind of urban hotel. Let's see, blending unique experiences in Colombia, whatever. 25,000 points, and this boutique hotel at the bottom, 37,000 points. Those are both with choice. So if you broke those down, we're talking 12,500 points for the first one, whatever half of 37,000 would be on the other one. So when you look at both of these, I think the choice deal is a good deal, but it seems like in every case where the same hotel is bookable with both, what I found is that iPrefer might even be half, because many times their point prices are the same, but yet one transfers 1 to 2 to choice, the other one transfers 1 to 4 to iPrefer. At least that's kind of how it worked out. Okay, Point CFO says the 1 to 4 conversion rate is the highest of all banks. Should we move points now before Citi nerfs it? Do I prefer points expire? Well, I don't know. That's a question I did not ask, but I bet you can Google it real quick and find out. If you do, let us know here in the comments. But the thing that I would say is if they don't expire, it depends on how many kind of unneeded points you have just sitting around, and how easy it is for you to earn Citi points. Because like in my case, yeah, I'm thinking about parking some over there because as you and I talked about a lot in Puerto Rico, I earn a lot of Citi points. I mean, it's easy to earn Citi points for me. So I can always earn those Citi points back. Maybe it's worth it to speculatively park some there, because you don't have to park a lot. I mean, if you parked 100,000 points over at iPrefer, that's on some of this stuff, it goes pretty long way. I mean, it can go a long way. So that's kind of how I would look at it, is kind of depends on what you got sitting around, and whether you think it's going to get nerfed, and how easy it is for you to earn them back. So Matt Clausen, Citi nerfing iPrefer this early would be peculiar. Yeah, it'd be pretty early. They're trying to really set their name in this, so I would think that'd be strange. Point CFO, Citi did drop the elite sign-up bonus from 100 to 75 in the first 2 weeks. Yeah, that's true. But then it went back up, didn't it? Isn't it back up now? I think so. Stacy Travel Points, 24 months of inactivity. Oh, well, inactivity. So, I mean, those are kind of nice, because the activity usually means transferring something in. So, I mean, Avianca is 12 months of inactivity, and I've had those same points forever. I just like every 6 months move 1,000 points over. So that would be good to know. Okay. Capelan, these are a few other examples. Also in Colombia. Let me move on. I think I found some others. Oh yeah. Okay. So here we go. These are in Ireland. So here is a castle. And I was actually talking to Nona about, we need to go do a castle tour. That would be cool. And just stay in castles, a different castle every night. Would you guys like to see that on her Wagon Travels channel? A tour of castles in Ireland and Scotland. That would be cool. So, but they just had a lot of, I don't know why iPrefer has so many castles, but they do. So here you have the Kilkea Castle in Ireland, and on iPrefer it's 50,000 points, and it's a little cheaper on choice. It's 45,000 points on choice. But of course, when you start doing the math on that, that would be 22,000 points with Citibank if you went through choice per night, versus just, what is that? 12,500 points per night if you went through iPrefer. So again, the same thing plays out, that the iPrefer deals are, I mean, the deals with choice are pretty good, but they're that much better, at least from what I found on iPrefer. Here's another example in Ireland. Hayfield Manor, 50,000 points per night with iPrefer, 44,000 points per night with choice. So again, on the surface, it sounds better, but it's not, because it'd be 22,000 Citi points versus 12,500 Citi points. So it again, same thing playing true. So those are just some examples that I had, and I knew I wouldn't have a lot of time. So I'll probably have more on it next week because I'm going to dive into like if there's any way to kind of cheat into some of their different status tiers and how that works and all of that. So we're going to talk about that more next time. And like I said, I did not have a lot of time today, but I wanted to at least go through some of this and talk about the globe card. Let me go back and see on comments. DM. Recently logged into my iPrefer only to realize I had 29,000 points there from miscellaneous work trips. Pretty cool. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. You're better than me because I didn't even know it existed before the last few months. So it's kind of new. Tampa Travel says Ashford Castle is super cool near Galway, has golf and falconry. Falconry. I would feel very fancy staying in a castle with and doing some falconing. Is that, I don't know if that's what you call it, but that sounds really, really cool. So falconry, that's excellent. All right. This is my upcoming travel that we have coming up, and didn't get to it in one of the last ones. So I just wanted to bring it up. We're going Emirates to Europe in the spring, 87,000 points in business class, transferred them from Amex before Emirates got devalued on everybody's transfers. So 87,000 points flying on the Airbus A380. So if you've flown on that, let me know. I think it's going to be pretty fun. Then we're flying back from Europe, different city on Swiss business class. Swiss business class, 60,000 points with Aeroplan transferred again from American Express. So that's kind of what our plans are. Well, I know today has been a shorter live than usual, so forgive me for that. But anybody who wants to chime in anything else here at the end is more than welcome to, and I'll try to read it. But I just wanted to kind of go over a brief overview of some of the points prices. I do want to recap and say, I think this iPrefer thing is pretty amazing, especially if they start adding more points properties, because here's what I found. Their lowest points price is 15,000 points, but that means it's only $37.50 on Citi points. So thank you points, 33,750 thank you points for a hotel night is cheap, cheap, cheap. And their highest redemption is 150,000 points. That means their highest redemption, the $1, $2, $3, and $4,000 per night hotel rooms, are only 37,500 thank you points per night. And I dare you to find a better redemption rate in all the points and miles world than 37,000 points for a $2,000 or $3,000 a night hotel room. I think it's going to turn out to be just amazing. And, it may though still fly under the radar, and that may be good for those of us who know about it and those of us who have Citi points and aren't just thinking that the only way to get good hotel value is with Chase. So never can tell. All right. DEM says Aeroplan has some great redemptions, but they're harder to find these days. They are. I was glad to find that one. It seems like if you're willing to fly Swiss, I don't know how it'll be. We'll do a review of it, but there was quite a few on them. But some of the better redemptions were getting harder and harder to find. Well, let me go through and thank those who Magna Sharp gave a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Good to have you here. Also, Miles of Smiles gifted 1 membership today. So for a short live, I really appreciate that support, and I appreciate everybody being here. And sorry, as I said, to cut it short, just my afternoon is kind of crazy today. And remember, we're starting to do these when I don't, and it'll be a while before I have more videos. So Friday nights, I'm starting to do kind of an extra live, and then, of course, every Sunday afternoon. So thank you all for being here. Thank you those who support the channel. DM just come in with, I'm staying in an iPrefer property in April, but the redemption rate wasn't the best versus 4th night free with Prestige. Yeah, that can happen. The cents per point just didn't make sense. Yeah, I get it. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here, and I will see you very, very soon.